All right, here we are combining like terms. So let's talk about what a term is first. A term is always separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So if we look at this first one, I see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Notice I took the sign along with it. So this first term is a negative y, second one is a negative 6, third one is a negative 3y, and the fourth one is a negative y. You always take the sign with it. The only time you won't see a sign with it is if it's the first one and it's positive. We'll circle it, but it will be an implied positive. That's the only time you won't see the sign, okay? Now we need to combine like terms. If you have y, which we do here, if you have y squared, these look like terms, but be careful, they're not like terms. Y and y squared are different, okay? So if y equaled 3, that would just be a 3, but technically y squared, that would equal 9. So you have to see those as different terms, okay? So we have here a y, and a y, and this one does not have a y, that has no variable, so that's not like the others. So let's go ahead and combine these. Remember, that's a negative y, which means it's a negative 1y. The 1's going to be implied. So I have 1 here and 1 here, so that's 2, and we have 3 more, all negative, so that's negative 5. And then the minus 6 is a constant. Oops, there's a y here. Is a constant. We call it a constant, and the way you can remember that is it is constantly standing alone, so it won't have a variable. And it also constantly goes at the end of an expression or the end of equation when it's in standard form. Okay, so let's take a look at number 2. Circle your terms. Hopefully you see 4 terms. We have x, and that's an implied positive x. Then we have a negative 3y. We have a positive 2x and a positive 4. So which ones are like terms? Well, this is like this. They both are x's. So we'll combine those. 2 plus 1 more is 3x. Now there are no other y's, so we'll just go ahead and write that down. And the last one is our constant, which we put at the end because constants constantly show up at the end. All right, let's continue on finding those like terms. So let's go ahead and circle them. So which ones are alike? This term is like this term because they both have an x. So we have a positive 52x and a negative 52x, so that would leave us 0x. So we don't have to write x's down at all because there just aren't any more. Just like I won't write a z in the list. Why? Because there aren't any. There's 0 z's, and that's why they didn't write it. Okay, negative 6 and a negative 6 will give us negative 12. All right, number 7. Let's circle the terms that we see. I see 1 term, 2 terms, and 3 terms. Now be careful, we have to look carefully. We have a squared times b, and I have a b squared, and looks like we have another a squared b. These are not the same. I know that they have a's and b's, but look at how many a's and how many b's. So this really equals a times b, because we had a, which is the base, multiplied twice. Here we have a times b times b. So those are not the same, are they? When you list them out, you can see it. So this and this, those are like terms. So we have 7 a squares times b, and we have negative 9a squared times b. I have more negatives than positives. How many more negatives? 2. So we have 2a squared b's, and then this had nothing, no other terms that matched it, so we'll just go ahead and bring it down. Okay, and that's our final answer. Number 5. The sides of a triangle are 3x squared, or 3x plus 2, 6x minus 1, and 7 minus x. I'm going to go ahead and circle those three polynomials because I know those are the sides of a triangle. Those are the three sides. Express the perimeter. So we're looking for the perimeter of the triangle in terms of x. So let's think about this. Sometimes I like drawing a picture so I can really visualize it. We have a triangle. One side is 3x plus 2. One side is 6x minus 1. And the other is 7 minus x. Now, it doesn't matter which way I put it, because if I turned my paper, it would shift anyway. Perimeter is all the way around, so I have to add that side to this side to this side. So I could go ahead and write that as perimeter equals, let's see, 6x minus 1 plus 3x plus 2 plus 7 minus x. Do I have to put all of those in parentheses? No. I only did it to show the three sides are being added together. It makes it a little easier to see the concept. Now, I could go ahead and solve it formally like this, but because this is a word problem and I'm not asked that I had to write out an equation for it, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to solve it using my picture that I drew. I'm going to circle, like I did before, all of my terms. So it looks like we have 6 terms. Now, which ones are alike? This one is an x, this is an x, and this is an x. So I'm going to combine my x's. So let's see, 2 are positive and 1 is negative. So I'm going to start with my positive. 6 plus 3 is 9, and then take 1 negative away, and we have 8. So that will be 8x. Now I'm going to go ahead and I have a constant here, and constant here. So I will combine those. And again, I see I have 2 positives and a negative. So I'll start with my positives. 7 plus 2 is 9, minus 1 is 8. And that's a positive 8. And so this is my final answer.